What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, and today I want to talk to you guys all about Halo 5. So as you guys know, I finally jumped into the Xbox world when I purchased the Forza 6 limited edition console. I love Forza. I'm so happy to have it. Obviously, one of the big draws for me jumping back into the Xbox One universe was the console exclusives. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing I'm going to be buying on my Xbox One. So it's no surprise that when Halo 5 launched, I was there to get it. Now, I went to the Xbox event that they had here in the Florida Mall at the Microsoft store, and it was actually really, really cool. So the store opens up at 9 p.m., and it ran past midnight, and it was a launch party. They had TVs set up everywhere. You could only play the first mission. They were very, very concerned that you would play beyond the first mission, and they were watching like a hawk. So as soon as you finished the first mission, whoosh, took the controller out of your hand, okay, you can't play anymore. Obviously, we know why. I won't give any spoilers away, but obviously things happen after the first mission that they didn't want you to see just then. But it was a cool experience. Get to go see some other super fans, go talk with other people. They had a DJ, they had different they had food there, although I didn't get any. And then they had a giveaway contest. They were giving away limited edition controllers, consoles. They had giveaways, ponchos, foam fingers, you name it, they had it. Ton of fun. If you guys have an opportunity to go to any Microsoft store that does any sort of launch for the major Xbox One kind of titles, I highly recommend you do so. So anyways, I got home, I got the game, checked it out. Now, I've already beaten the story. I'm not going to talk about any of the story in this particular video, though I will in other videos. So this is completely spoiler-free. This is just overall mechanics of the game, and that's something I really wanted to kind of focus on today. Will you stop? You're so restless. All right, so Halo 5, obviously a brand new engine designed from the ground up for the Xbox One, and the game in of itself is gorgeous. 60 frames a second everywhere. I never once saw any sort of stutter or slowdown throughout the entire campaign or multiplayer. However, this is the big caveat I want to give with this. There is a lot of draw distance problems with this game. Significant. And I'm really surprised none of the major review websites or companies or whatever really talked about it. And it's stuff that you notice right away, whether you're, just walking around in the terrain or whether you're kind of deep diving and going off and trying to explore like little individual pieces of the map. Like you're trying to go find some skulls or try to find like the intel pieces scattered throughout each of the maps. You will notice a significant amount of pop-in and where the whole texture just completely updates itself. So the pop-in, most notably, go play Breakout. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. When Breakout begins, you run, you jump, you hit that, you hit the slide. No, you jump over and you hit the that boost pad that launches you into the map. Look down as you're going in the boost pad. You won't see a shadow, and then as you kind of get close to the ground, poof, a shadow will appear. Now that's pretty ugly, and I will tell you that throughout all of Halo 5, I was constantly distracted by the beautiful story, the beautiful world, the beautiful guns, the sound effects, everything, by this pop-in, and you will see it a lot. You will see shadows that weren't there suddenly appear. You'll see blades of grass suddenly appear, and you'll notice textures look kind of blurry, and then as you get close, they like bloop, they get suddenly more in focus. Now, this is an old trick game developers have been doing for years, and obviously they sacrificed a lot of graphic quality to keep it at 60 frames a second, and it shows. And it's unfortunate that the hardware, whether it's because of the extra RAM that they like, I'm not saying it would run better on PlayStation, obviously better on PC, but it was very distracting, and I wish that there was other design considerations that were taken into account for that. Obviously, the game is a lot of open world stuff, and that's the part that really hurts that draw distance. Obviously, if you're going in a lot of corridors and hallways and you're only seeing so far away, it looks no issues whatsoever. It's when you get out in the world and you see the snipers way off in the horizon and you're running towards them, you start to notice things pop up around you, and it is genuinely distracting, and it's something that really took away from the overall experience for me, and I wasn't a big fan of that. That was by far my biggest complaint. The shooting mechanics feel great. There's a couple different control mappings if you want. I know if you get the Elite controller, you can completely remap your controller. I don't think Xbox One software natively has it like PlayStation does. It might, I'm not sure. That might be coming in this big update that's coming with the backward compatibility in a couple weeks. But even not, there's plenty of selections for you to choose from. You'll find one that feels most natural to you. And you can also adjust the aiming sensitivity, which I actually had to lower. I've been playing a lot of Destiny, which is definitely a much slower paced game. Halo is very, very twitchy. I'm not saying Call of Duty twitchy, but it's kind of on that spectrum. And it was difficult for me to aim, so I actually had to lower it, which wasn't so good. But it's okay. Never claimed to be a Halo pro, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. The story in of itself, I'm going to skip for another time. The guns and the sound effects were great. I love the sound effects. I was playing downstairs on my wife's, the newer of the two older TVs that we have, that actually supports 1080p. We got a nice big Bose surround sound system, and when you set up the Xbox properly and you get the sound system going, that full 360 sound is absolutely incredible. And I don't mean 360 like Xbox 360. I mean like 360 degrees of sound effects around me. I could hear Buck and some of the other Guardians loading up their guns behind me. I could hear like vehicles approaching. I could hear footsteps approaching. It was great. And for multiplayer, it's a must-have. I don't think I'd ever want to go back to a standard headphone or two-speaker setup again. Just how amazing the true surround sound really was. And that's not so much a Halo 5, that there are other games that support surround sound. I was playing it way back when Gears 3 came out. My point is, it's very nice to have. It's a very, very nice feature to have. And the game does support a great soundtrack, great sound effects. The music just really gets you pumping. And it's a shame Marty O'Donnell's no longer associated with the program, but it's clear that his vision of what sound effects should be like totally carry onto the game. And you will find some of the music you're just really like, really impulse pounding, really a lot of, really exciting kind of music going on. Tons and tons of guns, the Promethean guns, the Covenant guns, the USNC guns. I never found a UNSC shotgun. I don't know if it's been eliminated from the game. The Prometheans still have their scatter shotgun, which is pretty much a shotgun with a little bit more of a zoom, but I did miss the old school double barrel pump, and I didn't see that in this game, so I'm not sure if it's gone or if I just never found it. I haven't actually seen it multiplayer yet either, so I kind of feel like it might be gone. But there are plenty of new guns to play with. The Hydra is one of the newer ones that they are hyping up. I don't really think it's that great. I'll probably do a more in-depth review on individual pieces of each gun later, my thoughts on it. But just overall, there are plenty of guns, and you will constantly be switching through your inventory, ripping guns off of turrets, mowing guys down, and it is tons of fun. Oh, the Gravity Hammer. I did not see the Gravity Hammer either. Energy Sword was there, of course. Got to have the Energy Sword. Did not see the Gravity Hammer. Anyways. What else? Anything else I'm missing about the overall gameplay? No, I think that was pretty good. All in all, I think it really is a good game. Just the draw distance, it's something, like I said, that really does bother me. And another thing I noticed, too, I first noticed it in Defiance, the multiplayer game there. When you are way off looking at an enemy in the horizon, it looks like their frame rates drop to like a third. Now, with the Prometheans, it's okay, because the Prometheans do teleport around, so I can absolutely, in the spirit of what the Prometheans are, envision them running kind of weird at long distances. However, when you're looking at humans or Covenants or anything else, when they run, it's hard to explain, but their frame rate takes a big drop, and it looks almost like 2D cardboard. Again, this is an old trick of the trade. I've seen this before. Like I said, I first saw it in Defiance, the MMO for that, but I've seen it in a lot of other MMOs as well, and other just massive shooters and that sort of thing. And it's just kind of lazy. I wish there was a better way that they could, make that look, because it does kind of take you out of this amazing world. So you'll be up close, you'll be shooting a guy, sparks will be flying, he'll explode and vaporize into 1,000 little fragments, jaw-dropping, gorgeous graphics. Then you look out on the horizon and you see things popping in and like little 2D stick figure guys, and it's like, oh. And it kind of did ruin the experience. But overall, it was great. The story was amazing, which I said I'll talk about in another video. Just want to give some high-level impressions on the single player. Now, jumping over to multiplayer very briefly, it needs a lot of work. It really, really does, and that's unfortunate. I was very excited for Warzone. To me, it's the best of everything. It's the best of League of Legends, where you have other, mobs in the map that you have to, if you want to go get some bonus experience. It has like grunts from Titanfall. It has requisition cards, which are a mixed bag, but overall seem to be okay, because you get enough of them that you never really feel like, oh, I wish I had a weapon. It's there if you really want it. But Warzone is so lopsided right now. I have yet to find a match, and maybe this is because we're all new and we have no idea what the hell we're doing. I have yet to find a match that's remotely close in any terms competition whatsoever. Very, very lopsided. Breakout is a ton of fun. I believe there's only one map for it. At least I've only ever seen one map. Slayer, it's still great. One great addition of multiplayer that I noted in the beta when I played at Brent's house was the fact that each of the areas have names, like Red Spawn, Red's, the schoolhouse, the turn, the wheel. They all have different names. And once you know the map, it's great because your allies, whether they be human or electronic, it does not matter. You find this in the single player game as well. They will actually call out, hey, enemy spotted in the red room, enemy spotted by Sniper 1 or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's cool. So it really is a much more immersive multiplayer than I'm used to in the past, and I really do appreciate that. Gameplay's super tight. I've noticed no lag. A little bit of issues right now. It's launched, so it's it's forgivable, but nothing like broken at all. It withstood everything. The lobby system works just great, so it's clear to me that 343 was either weighing over their heads at Master Chief or they farmed out just a little too much, because this multiplayer works flawlessly, and especially since so many people right now are pinging the system trying to get on, and it works great. You know it's only going to get better. Occasionally you'll find where you don't get your stats at the end of a match, or you get dropped for a random reason, or it never loads. But for the multiplayer that I've played, which is a significant amount at this point, I have yet to see any kind of major issues whatsoever. Weapon balance feels good. Aiming feels good. The only thing, like I said, is Warzone is very lopsided, and ultimately it's kind of broken. A lot of people don't use their rec packs because what's the point when you're losing 700 to 50 and you're getting your ass beat and they're just standing outside your walls waiting for you to come out to mow you down, and there's tanks just sitting there, and it gets very campy and it's not so much fun. So I'm not sure what they need to do to fix that. The maps are diverse enough that there are a lot of multiple paths that you can take to kind of like avert the enemy, and like, oh, the East Armory's fallen, I'm going to go to the West one. I'm skipping the Spire. I'm skipping the central point, whatever it happens to be, the garage. I'm going way, way, way around. And that does work. So you can kind of get into the game somewhat, but it turns more into like a stealth game than it does what Halo is, which should be fighting. And even with the rec packs, which a lot of people aren't using when they start losing, matches do tend to landslide very quickly. That's unfortunate because I know they put a lot of work into that. And I'm hopeful, though. I think there's a few things that they could change in that, and I'll probably talk more about that at length later. So overall, multiplayer is great. Single player is great. The game mechanics work pretty darn well. Locke is a very likable guy. I was surprised. I didn't think I'd like him, but I do. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm just going to tell you guys that Halo 5, in my opinion, is an amazing game. Just don't get your hopes up on the draw distance, because that will ruin your experience. If you are a snob like I am, and that's all you look for, you're going to get very frustrated. It is enough that you will notice things pop out of the corner of your eye that you thought was an enemy, and it's not. It's just the way the game is processed. You almost have to kind of play like this, and maybe then it wouldn't be so bad. But everything else, amazing, great game. Very, very happy to have 343 actually deliver a great product in Halo 5. Halo 4 was amazing, but this is leaps and bounds, technically just a beautiful game. So check it out and let me know what you think. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please do me a favor, and do Sophie a favor. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let us know what you think about Halo 5. And until next time, we will see you guys on the other side.